Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about how to create editor relationships and build relationships with your editors at various publications by taking advantage of what we refer to in psychology as the reciprocity principle. The reciprocity principle basically goes like this. If you do something for someone, you basically input something and you get some sort of an output in the form of a sort of like you invest in someone and they feel obligated to invest back into you. So if you can understand this principle, it'll make your life a lot easier when it comes to building relationships with people that write for big name publications, people who are editors at these big name publications. And if you can do that, as we've already discussed over and over again, they will do things for you for free. They will be more than happy to cover your company, your stories, and things like that in their columns, and they will interview you, things like that. So a lot of good things happen when you have built a lot of relationship with people that write for big name publications. So how do you build a reciprocity sort of relationship? How do you get these people to reciprocate back to you? Well, the idea is actually fairly simple. This board is a little shaky today. The idea is fairly simple in the sense that you need to first understand that you need to provide some value up front. So up front value. So what does that mean? Understand them don't just think about like this as a business transaction, but try to understand what does this person actually want and what are their needs and what this person actually, their personal goals and lives are, and connect with them from an emotional standpoint. So if you can connect with them from an emotional standpoint, you will be able to get this person to invest back into you. So how do you do that? Reach out to an editor, send them an email and say something like, hey, my name is Rafi and I've been following your column, put a link to their column and say, I've been following your column on blah, blah, blah publication. The work that you do is amazing. In particular, I just saw this piece that you published yesterday. Put in the template their latest piece. And I wanted to tell you that I really enjoyed it. It's awesome. I think this is a topic that I can relate with because of blah, blah, blah has happened to me as well. So thank you so much for sharing this. Truly your biggest fan, Rafi. That's it. Just send that email. Don't ask them for anything. Don't do anything. That's it. Reach out to them again a couple days later. This time, you're going to send them another message and also connect with them on Facebook, on LinkedIn, wherever it is that you're messaging them. Connect with them on social media and say something like, hey, I just noticed that you haven't published something in the last few days. I was wondering when your next piece is coming out. I would love to read it. And then ask a question. When you're asking them a question in the next email, even if they did not respond to the first one, they're going to try to probably respond to the second one because they're going to see that, hey, this person is taking time to reach out to me multiple times. And so this strategy works actually very well over email because on emails, a lot of people don't like cold emails and they'll probably ignore the first one, even if it's fan mail. But when you reach out to them again, they know this person is truly interested in you, so they're going to probably end up responding to that second email that you sent to them. And they'll say something like, oh, I publish once a month, or oh man, I've been so busy with work, I haven't had time to publish yet. So that's perfect opportunity for you to start providing them some value and say, hey, okay, so you haven't published in a while. Is it because you're busy or what? Like, I'm just curious, like why you don't publish more often. I love reading your content. I'm sure other people, hundreds of thousands of other people do as well. So you start probing into their story and then basically what you do is, as you do this, you start kind of figuring out like why they don't publish more often, why they haven't published yet, or why they publish on that particular topic. Ask them questions. Hey man, I noticed that you write on this particular topic. Is there any reason why you write on this topic only? What's your link to it? Try to figure out from an emotional standpoint why they write on the topics that they do, because if you can figure out why they write on those topics, you can start suggesting them different ideas for things they can write about. You can relate to them, something that you experience or you do as well, that connects with what they're writing and what they're sharing on their blog, on their column. Once you can do that, it becomes a lot easier for you to build an emotional connection with this person and to build a personal relationship rather than just a business transaction. So once you can build a personal connection with somebody over a business one, you're now operating with that person on a social frame rather than just a business frame. So once you can start operating and you build a social relationship with that person, like that of a friend or a mentor or something of that nature, it becomes a lot easier for you to basically reciprocate back and forth between each other, bartering or whatever the case might be, investing in them and them investing right back into you. So from here, how do you start actually getting them to invest in you, and how do you actually provide value up front? Well, you can suggest in your third message or third email or fourth or fifth, whatever it is that you end up doing, something along the lines of you helping them with their next article by giving them some ideas or a structure or an outline, or helping them do some research for their next article. If you can do that, they're most likely going to say yes, because most contributors are busy. Right? The reason they don't write very often is because they're busy. They don't have the time. It just takes a lot of time to write a piece. So if you can help them out by saying that, hey, I will write this for you, or I will write a portion of it, or I'll do some research for you to help you out, or I'll create an outline for you, or something along those lines, they're very likely to give you a yes. Once you get a yes from them, once you get them to say yes, you've now opened up a working relationship with this journalist, right? With this contributor. So once you've built that relationship, it just can go from there to there, just kind of expand from who knows where it can go. So they may say, okay, yeah, great, let me help you with the first article. Then you could say, hey, at some point down the line, you could say, hey, since I helped you with that article, would you be interested in mentioning me as a co-author to that? You could make a pitch like, hey, after you work with them for a while, say, hey, would you mind introducing me to the editor of this publication that you write for, so that I too can become a contributor here, since I've been helping you out and you already know I write well. You can say like, hey, my company just did X and I've been helping with all these articles. Would it be possible for you to maybe interview me or my company or this individual or whatever the situation might be on topic X, and that would be valuable for your article, and I'll help you write the article as well. This way, you're basically building yourself into their writing, and you're on top of that, majority of contributors simply don't write because they don't have the time. It's not worth it for them. You're encouraging them to create more content. You're encouraging them by doing that, by saying you can help them with it, and you're basically building yourself into their content that way. And the reality is that most of these publications have tons and tons of writers that have contributor accounts. But most people don't publish anything, and the reason that they don't is because they don't have the time. So if you can restart reaching out to contributors at publications all around the web, and start this process of reciprocation where you help them up front without asking for anything, and you make them feel great, and you connect with them on an emotional standpoint, and you start providing value, and you encourage them to create more content, and you tell them how awesome their content is, how much you love doing it, you're going to start building relationships with tons of journalists, tons of community contributors. And as you guys know, through relationships is how you can get your name mentioned in various publications all around the web repeatedly and consistently, and without having to spend a single dollar on PR or anything else. So if this video helped you guys out, share it. If you guys have any questions about anything that I talked about, shoot me a message, shoot me an email. My personal email is rafi@rafichowdhury.com. You can reach out to me there, and I'll be more than happy to answer any additional questions for you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on the next video.